Mobi biara kwa ba daily updates ni any DM ni obo kwan so message so unsubscribe to your channel na obi me notification bell no so the be anytime you drop a video bia no nso benya akonya no ahwe video ni bi na ECOWAS bagana no mobile no me meetings bebre I just money former president John Dramani Mahama kra meeting I just say enkomodidiem no di nsem bebre etudwa na eno echi anso ho a omani Mami Jane Mensa so aye meeting na meeting no na say omuchim say ohwe Africa hanoma Ghana ye country a endru election time ma basa ye insida as compared to other West African countries no na enkomodidim no good luck Jonathan say Ghana hanoma ba no mo be make sure say election na di anim a eba December 17 December be making sure say basa EBNC election no na enkoba say party we say on the results into party we say ene ye wia nti no on twen ye beko court ni ade o see bomb bag Ghana hanom no ne tintini ne tietie ni na no be making sure say no kre ene peri yo ebeda edi ewo abato no yembonra audio nim ni entie ensam ne nkomodidi e course na ye wia de obi ase de beto am say me ma refi Ubitim de wadwinchi bi aba comment section na sinewia ye bejebre so na ya kan yengo ti audio nimbra
na mama yetu kan yenko His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na so nanu a Nigeria former president good luck Jonathan eni ni chia no eno ya anso wone Jane Mensa easy boss ego chia ye na enchemu na good luck Jonathan ene president Mahama chia no enkomo ni bi ekoso no eno ni etie
issues that brought us. As the Secretary of the West African Elders Forum mentioned, the purpose of the West African Elders Forum is to see how we can bring tension down in the sub-region. ECOWAS, of course, you know very well, being the key leader of ECOWAS, is one of the sub-regional bodies that is well respected. Even SADC respect ECOWAS, but we're not immune to conflicts, and we've seen that there are a lot of conflicts in the continent and conflicts in ECOWAS. And most of the conflicts are related to elections, and that's why we are placing so much emphasis on the elections. And when we set up the West African Elders Forum, how many years ago? 2020. We believe that when elections are coming up, we don't want to wait until at the end of the elections and when there are major conflicts before you step in to mediate. And we feel that we should prevent crisis from even coming. So we visit countries before the election and we also come during the election. During the election, we are not playing the key role. We'll observe the election, but we are not playing the key role of election observers. But we are there to mediate, to make sure that elections are done properly, to follow the regional and national protocols guiding elections, and where it's necessary for us to mediate, we mediate.
Okay.
So that parties don't really.
Very well. Former Nigerian president good luck Jonathan and attaining Kano. Also by a bang say a besha battle so kekedo. Ye beshe na se entawantawa bi wo wa. E beti within to kwane basa ye bi abano. Ye di Kesi ho kwan. And afesu ye beshe said be ya enhye ye wo ye West Africa. Ye nyina ya giatum enhye ne mra ye nyina ya giatum no. Ye beshe se mu nyina mu di so no nti eno mabano. Na president Mahama edu ne breso a wakasa no ensema wodo a abeya akwansidie a wosusu se ya anya ho bibi wa bra ye koto aba no odan ni nyina di hwe ni nyina aguo wa bra na good luck Jonathan etenencha yetie no.
We all want a peaceful election, but a peaceful election is predicated on the groundwork and the preparation that is done before the election. I'm sure that if we get everything right in the lead up to the election, then the election will be peaceful and successful. But we are committed to a peaceful election, and we believe that if we cooperate with each other, especially with the EC that is supposed to be the neutral arbiter and umpire, we should be able to get it right again.
So President John Dramani Mahama no wabra no so de na no disem to jabade ba ko so hunu ne se ndc amanyo ko asem ba ko a wama so ya hwe ye betimi de ohaw kesi aba de wadi kan dia to isi nanima isi ne siese wotu wanamo se abato nwoma no proye wom nkofo dia pepa frim nkofo yeni baabi o mo register o mo dia piem nkofo nso a o mo register wo police station bi no ya mo obudin so de ko baabi foforo a mo nim kwan kura saa de ne bai wo mo de sansem ni nyina akoto abato commissioner nanim abato commissioner se wodi woduma President Goodluck Jonathan, former Nigerian president, ekoshi ama meje Mensa woni ni di ho komo wo mo di komo edefa ECOWAS enhyehyɛ no ho ene sɛdeɛ Mahama wodo ɛhyɛ ECOWAS ase agye ne nyina atum ene hia sɛ wɔsɛ saa nhyehyɛ no yɛdi so fa picture no to so na yɛhwɛ nhyiamu no ene sɛdeɛ si kɔɔyɛ ene nkɔmɔdidie no sɛdeɛ na ne nyina esi kɔ eti ɔne maame gye Mensa na te wɔ no abato commissioner ahyehyɛ ene dwumadie yi ɛkɔ so eti according to Goodluck Jonathan ne kasa wɔka ene kyerɛ President Mahama no enu abi no ɔka de kyerɛ ɛyɛ maame gye Mensa so mo ne nya aba no mo ba bɛhwɛ so kɛkɛ bɛ nuoma bi a bɛyɛ ntawantawa ebetimi di ɔhaw ne amaneɛ ɛde aba daakye bi no ene ya akwanya no wɔ hɔ enkomo no sɛdeɛ sitie bia no yɛni na yɛ wakwan bi a yɛbetimi asi ano a yɛsi ano saa bere yi eti wohwɛ the next picture na me yɛ sure sɛ abato commissioner panyin no ɛma ensɛm na NDC amasoɔ ɛne ne ɔmo yɛ sɛ de bɛyɛ abato nwoma no bɛyɛ kroje wabra yɛ kɔto aba no ɛso mo nsa picture no baako ama ɛyɛ pink sheet no baako so a wɔde kyerɛ adan na di wotie easy ɔmo advert no dodo na wɔse ND political parties no sɛ mo ɔma no ho bɔ anasɛ mo pɛsɛ mo bɔ mo ma ho ban a ɛyɛ pink sheet no ne ɛma no nso aso ebesi ɛwɔ police station hɔ no ɛhɔ na wɔsɛ mo ma mo ni kɔ na obiara ni bibi obetumi awi abanim na yɛ sure sɛ saa asɛm no nso wɔka kyerɛ Goodluck Jonathan wabro mo kyiaeɛ etwa picture obiara so kɔ ne baabi paa basabere die Ghana for hwehwɛ ɛne sɛ abato commissioner ɛbɛyɛ ne bibia in a way a ɛbɛma gidi abanimu Goodluck Jonathan eba at a time Ghana for dan na di sɛ wo mu ni gidie ɛwɔ abato commissioner mu Goodluck Jonathan aba at a time Ghana for hwɛ animu sɛ abato commissioner no bɛyɛ ne noma yie sɛ de bɛyɛ abato nsusu aso no yɛgye tuma bibia bɛtuma yɛ dɛ akɔyɛ kama ɛde amayɛ eti na de ɛkɔ no yes amra back to the biggest story of the day ɛyɛ labor union ɔmo hyia mu a ɛba bɛkɔ so awiabrɛ mu no mienu nansa na nhyiamu yi bɛkɔ so no Dr. Srebo Frank of Ghana Medical Association ɛde bɛto dwa sɛ wɔn no strike no ɔmo fɔ ɔmo njim saa na ɛda ne dura ɔmo bɛ solidarize amanfo so ɔmo GMA nso atwɛ krata sɛ yɛntu Dr. Frank Srebo yɛntu no free baabi ɔwɔ no yɛnyina di yɛmpam no na wɔn sɛ mfata fi sɛ saa asɛm na ɔbɛkae no ɛnyɛ ɔmo gyinaeɛ no Dr. Thomas Anaba kane no yɛ CEO ɛwɔ ɛyɛ Rich Hospital and that's a Greater Accra Regional Hospital yɛkɔ ne nkyɛn na yɛne no ɛni nkɔmɔ Dr. Thomas Anaba yɛ mo akye mo akɔ aba.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning to you, Doc. Etiefo ni ahwefo nso ɛda asese wagye pani ɛsɛ wɔn yɛ bɛkasa saa nkɔmɔ yɛ ɛkɔ so ɛfa mo Ghana Medical Association win ɛyɛ fa na members ni nyinaa gyina ɛyɛ no korɛ sɛ nhyiamu bi kɔɔ so ma Dr. Frank Srebo ɛgye adwenkyerɛ no dodoɔ na akyerɛ sɛ ɛda na strike no bɛkɔ so no the way a ɛyɛ indefinite no ebetumi de ɔhaw aba eti mo deɛ ne sɛ mo bɛ solidarize ɛyɛ no korɛ saa asɛm na ɔbɛkae no
Meda wa celebrate. If one say a president, we are the president. Maybe I be sure cut away on behalf of all doctors in Ghana. For my own knowledge, meeting Bia and Faso regarding taking of that decision. Yahoo latest development and communiques issued by Srebo saying that yɛntumi accept sɛ ɔmo yɛ expanded medical training to other universities, which was a unilateral decision. This time, there was an activity that is an existential threat to our life, a threat to our existence, Galamsey, that even people are almost doctors, or other labor unions, or doctors, the way Galamsey affects human body, almost say, where they damage a man anti yenjai. Na Dr. Penny, the leader of the medical association, they are only the consequences of Galamsey more than any other person to the human body. What throw unilateral letter in representation of all doctors without consultation that we are not part. Me obiara in Ghana say me first strike. Me first strike because me first strike are ever had amount for omo life. Yes, you're using negotiation. But the Galamsey is a threat to our life, including myself, including his boy himself. Toxic levels in vegetables is increasing due to Galamsey. Toxic levels of our water is increasing because of Galamsey. Very soon we may have to import water. So, which doctor in Ghana would agree that we should allow Galamsey to go in? If teachers who don't understand, excuse my language, the importance or the effect of Galamsey on the human body are saying that it's a threat to their life, how can a leader of the doctors say that no, we will support any strike or we will support any action against indiscriminate mining in Ghana? I think ThéHNS has gone too far with his behavior. 2015, this was the gentleman who called for a strike and dared the government just because of allowances. When we were begging him to stop it, now there's an existential threat not only to GMA, but to all Ghanaians. Is it because it is to all Ghanaians and he has money to buy pure water and distill water to drink? He is not concerned. When it concerned him and that his allowance were not made, he wanted us to go on strike. Today, there's a threat to eliminate all Ghanaians, and he's saying that no one should demonstrate against it. I think ThéHNS has crossed the red line, and the call for his resignation is up, or else Ghanaians will see we doctors as not being sympathetic to them, including ourselves, because the vegetables they bring from the gold mining areas, the cocoa, the oranges, the banana, the plantain, and the fish they bring from those areas are all contaminated, and we are all consuming it. We are having children being born without being, some being born without some organs, women getting abortions all the time because of contamination of our rivers and indiscriminate mining. The forest is being depleted. Rain pattern has changed, and ThéHNS sits there and writes a letter on his own, a press release on his own, saying that we doctors have dissociated ourselves from a demonstration. I am not in favor of demonstration, but this demonstration is a life-saving demonstration for all of us. It is not only for medical doctors issues that you should go on demonstration. It should be issues concerning national interest. If you join to do a demonstration, you can still do a demonstration wearing a red band and working in the hospital. That does not mean that you have abandoned patients. After all, the Galamsey is bringing more patients to the hospital than we treating them. But I am not surprised. You see, there are a group of people in Ghana who I think should have been the first people to show leadership. We have seen in the UK that when Boris Johnson was misbehaving, his own cabinet members resigned to demonstrate that they were not in support of him. We have Council of Elders, Council of State members who are quiet on this. I think they are there to advise the president to do the right thing. It is high time we see some of the Council of State members, just like the members of the cathedral resign, members of board of the cathedral resign. We want to see some members of the Council of State coming up telling the president in his face to do the right thing or resign and leave the president alone. Or else I will also consider that some of them are the cause of some of these things. Because they should have called the GMA president and Council of Elders to also tell them the truth. They are too quiet.
And Doc, and now we Kesi Be Exp0sēs organized labor Belgium. Now come on money abide the no. Omo be dine na di e chair. What I say strike in Exp0sēs and I say ECOWAS. And then now we share ni say organized labor and can't check Ghana for. Should they call off the strike or strike them Russell?
Organized labor, I am advising them to go on the strike to let this government understand that the very way they are saying that this issue is because bipartisan issue. We had bipartisan issue with E-levy, it was passed. So they shouldn't bring any party into this. Organized labor should go on the strike to tell this president and his government that they are not the only people who can rule Ghana. They are not the only people who can think about Ghana. If they are giving them the military, the police, the security to ensure our safety, and the president is forced to do it. If he's not ready to do it, then we have to demonstrate against him. So if
but Doc, some of them are being threatened. For instance, organized labor for a war a year gihok. Omo boss about Bontia because woman nim na strike daddy drew no more yes omo tinefia obey you medi. And you also hear Kwabena Japan so our national TV show workers say galanse nkomo yi NDC for na womuni asem papa bia ka kire Ghana for makomema ensem no so. When you are in an environment like this, a man for to normal be say guma. What you say strike be sano a bit back kwasama bibi papa be every maba.
Oh, you see, all those excuses, Gihok, how many are the people in Gihok? And what are the procedures to sack somebody from work? Every worker has the right to demonstrate. It is a right enshrined in our constitution. And the boss there cannot sack anybody because the company does not belong to him. If he sacks everybody, then can he run the company? He has done more frivolous things in the company by buying bottles that are substandard and they throw them to waste. This is the one rather to be sacked. Kwabena Japan is playing politics. Now saying that it's NDC people who have done it. Can't you arrest the NDC people who are doing it? They are in government. When NDC said they shouldn't pass E-levy, didn't they pass it? So they should go ahead and do what they want to do. So I think that this is not politics. This is about our life, our survival. And organized labor should not step down. And the GMA should come out and tell us that their leader, Tinubu, is playing too much politics with that position. I thought he was only playing politics and tribalism because Mahama perhaps was not his favorite. But this case is about all of us, our lives, even including the president. The president's life is at stake because contamination of water, one day they may get contaminated water for him to drink and it will cause him harm. They may bring contaminated vegetables for him to eat. It will cause him harm. So I think GMA must stand up to the president, and the organized labor must tell government whether you like it or not to go to strike. That was what Kwame Nkrumah did and got us independent. So we are in support of organized labor and I'm in support of them. We have to revive what Kwame Nkrumah did. Positive defiance. If the president refuses, we do positive defiance. We stop work and demonstrate that we run the country, but we are just giving him the leadership to lead us. If he's leading us astray, we'll make sure we put him to the right track.
Dr. Thomas Anabay, Medo say, any obra, Unyamaya, no, by Dr. Thomas Anabay, can I see you? Greater Accra Regional Hospital here, Regional Hospital here. Dear President, Mahama see the phase 2, no, about way by where Jat one. Wow, if you don't know, a human ye.